Clark Reid back with you, popping in with today's tech headlines. If you like the reports, you could help us out by hitting that like button, and you can also subscribe so you know when each new report is up and posted for you. Quantum computing is pretty exciting. It will allow humankind to do things never before possible, even with banks of supercomputers churning away for years. We just reported recently about Microsoft's new Majorana 1 processor chip, and Amazon and Google have made advancements too. Well, we may see quantum computing in daily use now in years and not in decades. And that's all cool. But what's scary is that quantum computers can break encryption that would take years for a regular supercomputer, and they can do it in just seconds. GeekWire.com reports there's essentially a parallel race that's going on right now to develop ways to implement newer, more powerful encryption created by quantum computing that can't be easily broken, and get that encryption out to companies and particularly financial institutions before quantum computing is out in the wild and available to the bad guys. Let's hope the so-called Doge that Elon Musk is using to wholesale chop the government agencies does not hit the National Institute of Standards and their post-quantum cryptography project. It'll take years to deploy quantum-created encryption to businesses and the public. There are real pluses on AI models that are out in the open, but there's a dangerous downside to them too. And one of those is that the Russians are working overtime to feed disinformation and Russian-slanted propaganda to them. According to Gizmodo.com, picking up on a NewsGuard report, a propaganda network called Pravda produced more than 3.6 million articles in 2024 alone, which it found are now incorporated in the 10 largest AI models, including ChatGPT, xAI's Grok, and Microsoft Copilot. It should also be noted that the Pravda network is not connected to the infamous Russian newspaper that was one of the two main propaganda arms of the Soviet Communist Party, but it certainly picks up where the paper cannot go to disseminate propaganda. NewsGuard discovered that in their audit, the chatbots operated by the 10 largest AI companies collectively repeated false Russian disinformation narratives 33.55% of the time, gave a non-response 18.22% of the time, and a debunk 48.22% of the time. That's a little distressing. NewsGuard refers to this as AI grooming. By spinning up websites under seemingly legitimate-looking websites, the model, so they're ingesting and regurgitating information that they don't understand is propaganda. Couple this with their hallucinations from the AI, and you can see the wisdom of always double-checking what an AI model produces for you. And hey, you have the time. The AI generates that product in just seconds. Threads is test driving and adding interest to profiles in order to connect people to more people that they like and are in agreement with, and drive more engagement, of course. That's what they really want, is you to stick around and keep your eyeballs on their app a lot longer. And this is no doubt in response to Blue Sky having a description right under the user profile. It allows the user to tell a little about themselves and give their interests and their disinterests. TechCrunch.com says Threads hopes to pick up more disgruntled X users. Well, along with custom feeds, they also hope to slow the fast growth of Blue Sky. The Blue Sky system works. I've got like 2,200 followers there since just the election, and only 334 on Threads in almost 2 years. Some of this is due to a number of people not wanting to use a Meta platform, but I think a lot of it is that you can quickly vet a request on Blue Sky and accept their, friendship or whatever you want to call it, if their interests are similar, or block them if, for example, they appear to be a troll, or they just have pictures showing off their body and list an OnlyFans account. Yeah, we're not doing that. There are a number of tools or apps out in the wild that do an amazing job of cloning voice with only a few seconds of sampling of the actual voice. And for those of us in the business and for famous actors, this is a huge issue that was part of the big SAG-AFTRA strike last year. But more than that, it can mean scams and fraud and the like for just normal folks going about their life. ZDNet reports that Consumer Reports checked out 6 of the most widely known platforms: Descript, 11 Lawns, Lovo, Play HT, Resemble AI, and Speechify. And their tests found that 4 out of the 6, and those were 11 labs, Speechify, Play HT, and Lovo, didn't have the technical ability to prevent cloning someone's voice without their knowledge, or limit the AI cloning to only the user's voice. The so-called protection consisted of check boxes and then a consent statement. Oh, that's helpful. One Descript had the user read and record the consent statement, and then it used that audio to create the clone. Well, for a non-professional, the most common scam, and you've no doubt heard of this one, is where it involves cloning the voice of a family member and then using that recording to contact the loved one and request money be sent to help them out of a dire situation. Because the victim thinks they're hearing the voice of the family member in distress, they're more likely to send whatever funds are necessary without questioning the whole situation. Now, again, if you get a call from a relative needing money, don't bite. Use another means to try to contact them, like email, text, and then you can utilize knowledge that only you or the family member would have and verify it's actually them. I'm Clark Reid, and you're Technified for now.